Let's start from the beginning. What exactly is an operating system? An operating system, often called an OS, is the main software that makes your computer actually usable. It's not just another program, it's the foundation that everything else depends on. Think about what happens when you press the power button on your computer. The operating system is one of the first things that loads up. And once it starts, it allows every other part of the computer to work properly. Without an operating system, your computer would turn on, but you wouldn't be able to do anything useful. Your screen wouldn't show anything meaningful, you wouldn't be able to open applications, and even your keyboard and mouse wouldn't respond the way you expect. So a simple way to understand it is this. The operating system is like the brain of the computer. It controls everything and makes sure all parts work together smoothly. Some common operating systems you might have heard of include Windows, Linux, and Mac OS. Each one works a little differently, but they all serve the same core purpose. Now, let's talk about what the operating system actually does. We'll keep it simple and practical. First, the operating system runs your applications. Whenever you open a browser, a game, or any software at all, it's the OS that makes sure that program runs properly. Without the OS, apps simply wouldn't start. Second, the operating system manages memory. Your computer has something called RAM, which is like temporary memory. The OS decides which programs get to use that memory, how much they can use, and when that memory should be cleared. This is important because it keeps your system running smoothly without slowing down or crashing. Third, the operating system organizes your files. Everything on your computer, documents, pictures, videos, is stored in a structured way. You have folders, and inside those folders, you have files or even more folders. The OS manages all of this so you can easily find, open, and organize your data. Fourth, the operating system controls hardware. This includes your keyboard, mouse, screen, and other connected devices. For example, when you press a key on your keyboard, the OS receives that input and sends it to the application you're using. So without the OS, your hardware wouldn't know how to behave. Now let's talk about how people actually interact with an operating system. Most beginners start with something like Windows, which uses a graphical interface. This is often called a GUI, which stands for Graphical User Interface. With a GUI, you don't need to type commands. Instead, you see things like your desktop, icons, the start menu, and the taskbar. You can click to open applications, drag files around, and create folders visually. This makes it very easy and beginner-friendly. But there's another way to interact with a computer, and that's by typing commands. This is very common in Linux systems. In Linux, you often use something called the CLI, which stands for Command Line Interface. Instead of clicking, you type commands to tell the computer what to do. For example, if you type ls, it will show you the files in your current folder. If you type pwd, it tells you where you are in the system. And if you type cd, followed by a folder name, it moves you into that folder. At first, this might feel a bit difficult, but over time, it actually becomes faster and more powerful than clicking. That's why developers and cybersecurity professionals use it a lot. Now, even Windows has its own version of this. You can use tools like Command Prompt or PowerShell. For example, typing dir in Windows will show you files in a folder, just like ls does in Linux. Let's move on to something very important, security. Operating system security is all about protecting your computer and your data. One of the most basic forms of security is passwords. Your account is protected so only authorized users can access it. There are also different user levels. Some users have full control over the system, while others have limited access. This helps prevent unwanted changes or damage. Files can also be restricted, meaning not everyone can open or edit them. This adds another layer of protection. Another important concept is SSH, which stands for Secure Shell. SSH allows you to connect to another computer over a network in a secure way. For example, you could be using your laptop to access a server located in another country. SSH makes sure that connection is encrypted, so no one can spy on what you're doing or steal your data. Now, let's quickly bring everything together. An operating system is what starts your computer, runs your applications, organizes your files, controls your hardware, and helps keep everything secure. If you're just starting out, here's a simple way to learn step by step. Start with the basics of Windows, learn how to navigate, open files, and manage folders. Then begin learning simple Linux commands. Practice typing commands regularly, even if it's just a few each day. And finally, start understanding basic security concepts like passwords and secure connections. Take it one step at a time. And before you know it, you'll be comfortable using and understanding operating systems.